Hi. The prompt was to find something in your house and write a poem about its history. My first thought was it's an object that's not actually in my house, but it's in my garage because I just can't bring myself to bring it into the house. Neither could I do it when we were in South River, but it's the bag I used when I worked at the World Trade Center, which was salvaged by the NYPD from the Fresh Kills landfill in Staten Island. I was originally going to write about a lot of the things that were in that bag, as you know, just thinking about some of the interesting objects, like a pub card from the Rutgers University pubs, when you could actually sit and have a beer and study in a student center back in the early '80s. And which I know was in that bag, and also a PDA, which was 128K. Now, my wife just bought a phone that has 128 gig memory, and they have phones with terabyte memories now. But I thought it was the greatest thing at the time, and it was. My wife had bought it for me. As a Christmas present, I do remember it was 128K memory, but it served me very well for several years. Anyway, and then I know also in that bag was a book called The Van by Roddy Doyle, which I actually wound up finishing about 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It took a while for me to get up the nerve to get a copy of it and read it again. Anyway, this poem is called Loss and the Found. After 9/11, we set up shop in Port Elizabeth, but doing was difficult because our minds were still in an office no longer extant, and everybody missed their stuff. The shit you accumulate to make you feel like home, nested. Yes, there were time frames for forms to file with lines for personal items. And some people did get paid, but it never made them whole. I, like many, never completed a claim. Maybe it was ennui, else not capable of clearing a cluttered psychic desk, consuming constant, palpable hallucination, or just unable to monetize family photos, souvenir tchotchkes, and cases of cassettes taped over the years, and a player scored one lunch at Job Lot, where I got a pen, a Father's Day gift from my son, pickpocketed from my shirt, and didn't know till I plopped down in the plaza by Koning Sphere and opened my journal to write haiku. Another puzzle piece I count as lost, though it might very well be in the London fog, briefcase, double-wrapped, sealed, and stowed in my garage. A gift of fate, a sign of civilization, received a full year past after having survived the plunging implosions of immense towers, the ensuing excavation, and being dumped in the unfortunately but aptly named Fresh Kills. I never cared much for things, believing them bait for bleak indifference. Now I know better why my wife has her wedding gown vacuum packed in the attic, or our puppy's boxed ashes on the TV stand, her living visage lit in the lithophane lamp my brother-in-law, my best friend, 3D printed for us last Christmas. Not so much to hold as to have, like weighted blankets, bring bodies to balance, or the cones on grandfather's clock, mind the minutes, stir the bird. So that's that poem, and honestly, I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it's one of the best pieces I've ever done, and I don't think I could have approached it with the same balance, until enough time had really passed. But it was important to get some stuff stuff. Everyone wanted their stuff after 9/11, and I was very fortunate to get that back, as well as a baseball card from my son's t-ball team that I got a year later, 2 years after 9/11, from a police officer who was scanning the database and matched up Joseph's name on a baseball card with property, with my name having retrieved property, a briefcase from the World Trade Center. And I just thought it was so civilized. I mean, this was when people care about each other, when a country cares about its citizens. We seem to have lost a lot of that, but I wish we could get it back. I don't think there's, I don't think there are any illusions in here that really need a great deal of explanation. But I think this is a poem that a lot of people could get some kind of feeling out of. I know I did. There you go. Loss and the Found.